Aston Villa 2, Newcastle United 0 in the Premier League. Another debacle from the Toon. However, there was some dodgy calls in there as well, which we obviously have to discuss. But, given the team lineup, we should have done a lot better. This is the Toon review. Hi everybody, I'm Paul, back again, just reviewing yesterday's 2-0 defeat at Villa Park in the Premier League. For me, it was another debacle, really, absolutely crap performance. No positivity to come out of that game at all. However, you look at the opening, team lineup and you thought, right, this is a very strong team, probably the strongest we've got, if Steve Bruce is persistent with his 5 at the back, which he is. Had he gone a 4 at the back or a different formation, then maybe we could have played some different players. But when you look at the team lineup, you thought to yourself, yeah, not bad at all. Considering when Villa's team came out, still missing some vital players, you thought, right, let's go and give this a real good go. We had Woodman in goal, right wing back was Murphy, left wing back Ritchie. The 3 central defenders obviously changed from the opening day. We now had Lascelles, Shah and Fernandez, which for me is not too bad at all. We look at the midfield. Obviously, Shelvey was missing yesterday. We had Hayden, Willock, and Almiron. And then, obviously, ASM and Wilson up top. Now, opening 15 minutes, I thought we did okay. Certainly, within 5 minutes, we should have been ahead. Callum Wilson clean through on goal. Normally, you'd stick your mortgage on this guy to score one-on-ones. He just tried to bend it around the keeper into the corner, but unfortunately, put it wide. Now, that doesn't happen very often with Callum Wilson. To be honest, he was our liveliest player again yesterday when it came to the crunch. So we should have really been ahead within 5 minutes. But as the half went on, Villa started to have a lot more of the ball. And you just felt that, again, with what had happened in the past with Newcastle United, a goal was coming for Villa and we had to be careful. It then stemmed from a long throw, which we defended very, very poorly. Lascelles challenged in the air with Mings. He didn't win the ball. It bounced out and Ings with a fantastic scissor kick into the net. Not taking anything away from that goal. It was a brilliant, brilliant finish from Danny Ings. However, Fabian Schär for me was too far off him. He should have been a lot closer to Ings in order to make a challenge. But instead, he sat back off him. He had his hands behind his back, obviously, to watch for the handball. But he wasn't close enough to Ings, and Ings brilliantly finished it. So the confidence that would have given Villa right on half-time was immense. It was very important, that first goal yesterday for me. And we go in 1-0 down. We come out for the second half, and really, again, we didn't get going at all. Villa then get a penalty. Now, people say it's harsh, etc. We've got to remember, guys, we got some stinking decisions going our way last season. With the penalty at Tottenham for one, when the Carroll headed onto Eric Dyer's arm. Things like that happen. Lascelles, to be fair, his arms were up. The header was going in. He blocked it with his arm. Whether his arm was meant to be there or not, it doesn't matter. It's a penalty for me. And I know that sounds harsh, but it is a penalty. And I'm not going to argue with that one. And of course, El Ghazi stepped up and it's 2-0. Now, the major talking point for me came from Callum Wilson. When he went through, he knocked the ball past Martinez and Martinez took him out. I mean, took him out. If that was anywhere else on the pitch, for me, that's a red card. To any other player making a challenge like that, it is a red card. For some strange reason, he gives a yellow, but he gives the penalty. And then we have the VAR debacle of this offside rule again. Now, I was led to believe that this wouldn't happen this season, where the benefit of the doubt would be given to the striker. Now, if you look along that line, how the hell can they judge that Callum Wilson is offside there? I mean, is it his toenail? Is it his bootlace? What is it? These stupid lines were supposed to be got rid of, in order to make VAR a bit more quicker and a bit more, consistent, really. But no, of course they do that. Now, people are saying online again, it's the Premier League making these decisions against Newcastle. I don't subscribe to that. I really don't. I mean, people can have their own opinion on that. But what I did find it was a very, very bizarre decision. It wasn't a clear and obvious offside, for one. So it should have been the benefit of the doubt given to the striker. And we could have had a penalty there, and a 2-1, you never know what might happen. But to be fair, come on, we didn't really deserve anything from the game. You know, one shot on target in the 90 minutes, which was just a low curler, which Martinez gathered quite easily, to be honest. We didn't threaten at all. And Steve Bruce, with his substitutions again, baffled the shite out of me. Isaac Hayden injured his knee in the first half. Obviously had to come off at half-time, so we don't know how bad that's going to be, whether it's another long layoff for Isaac Hayden. He brings Sean Longstaff on at half-time. Did nothing. Absolutely nothing in that second half. Absolutely nothing. And, you know, whether his head's been turned by all these Everton rumours again, I don't know. I don't know what the situation is with Sean Longstaff. But he just was anonymous. He then brings Joe Linton on, which, you know, with about 10 minutes left. But the strange one for me was Fraser. Why wait until a minute to go in the game before you bring Ryan Fraser on the pitch? I mean, it just beggars belief. You know, Ryan Fraser, yes, we can say what we want about him last season, that he, you know, did he want to be here, etc., etc. But give him a chance. Put him on with 20 minutes to go to try and get back in the game. We're 2-0 down. But bringing him on with a minute left plus injury time is going to do bot all. Absolutely nothing. For Ryan Fraser's confidence and for Newcastle United, to be fair, yeah, he had one chance, which he curled over the bar, but he wasn't even warmed up by then. So, you know, you're not giving him the proper opportunity that the lad needs. So again, he fails with his substitutions. Miggy Almiron was anonymous the whole game. Now, yes, he's been played out of position. Granted, no problem with that. He is. But this guy is an international talented footballer. So when he gets the ball, he still should be able to do something with it, whether he's in position or not. But he's running forward with the ball and he's panicking as soon as he gets towards a defender. And he's stopping and turning back and knocking it back to the defence or the midfield. He's not taking anybody on. The guy seems just drained of complete confidence. So when he's driving at the defenders, he's stopping and he's turning back. He's not doing what he should be doing. So for me, if he's going to persist on this 5 at the back, then Miggy shouldn't be in the team for me. It should be another midfielder. But then the question's asked, well, who do you put in? You know, you've got Longstaff there at the minute. You've got Willock now, who, again, very quiet for me yesterday, Joe Willock, but what do you expect? He hasn't had a pre-season. He's had 40-odd minutes, and then he's thrown straight in the deep end playing a Premier League game. So for me, Joe Willock, you know, doesn't have any criticism on me at all, because I think, you know, he was thrown in the deep end. He hasn't had a pre-season. Give the guy a few games to get match fit. But this whole 5 at the back debacle is just absolute stupidity from Steve Bruce, because it's not working. You know, we've got 2 opening Premier League games, and I'm sure when everybody saw the opening games of the season, we thought, wow, we could really get something out of these games and start the season with a bit of positivity. But no, we've started with 2 defeats, which has completely let us down and puts the pressure on us for Southampton next Saturday. Southampton is a massive game now. You know, we've got the Carabao Cup on Wednesday against Burnley. Now, does he treat that with a bit of intent to try and go and win something this season? Or does he play the kids? Now, I'm going to the game on Wednesday in the hope that he plays a decently strong team that can overcome Burnley and finally get a win. Because let's face it, wins bring confidence. And if we can win the game on Wednesday against Burnley and go into the match against Southampton on the back and maybe scoring a few goals and having a victory behind us, might just inspire us a bit more in the game against Southampton. But this is, again, down to what Steve Bruce says. You know, does he lie to us and say, well, you know, I'm treating the cup seriously, and then put a weakened team out? It's very, very early in the season for me, so there's no reason that fitness will come into it. But then again, this is Newcastle United, and we've dealt with fitness problems all freaking season already. Pre-season and into the opening couple of games. We've seen players falling and injured. Now, I don't know what the situation is. I don't know what he's going to do for Burnley. But yesterday was just, again, a depressing Saturday afternoon. Watching the game and you think, God, you know, if only we had a bit of spark. You know, going forward, maybe we look okay at times. But even St. Maximin yesterday, you know, he has this criticism about him that he's holding on to the ball for too long. And he did that loads of times yesterday when, you know, you could see Callum Wilson making good runs and just wanting the ball played into him. But St. Maximin decides to go and take another 2 or 3 on and ends up losing the ball. That's what he has to eradicate from his game in order for us to be a bit more, a bit more eager going forward and create a few more chances. Callum Wilson, we know, makes brilliant runs, and he's not getting found by St. Maximin and ends up losing the ball. That has to be eradicated quickly from his game, because it's not effective anymore when he's trying to do it all himself and he's got runners. And Callum Wilson was noticeably getting frustrated yesterday when he wasn't receiving the ball. And that's what he's got to have going forward. He's got to have those passes played into him when he's running the channels. It will create chances for us. But again, what has been said to St. Maximin? Is he just been told to go out there, take players on, etc., and get on with your game? Or is he actually being coached to maybe take a couple of players on, but then get your head up and see who's available? Now, granted, a lot of the time we don't have anybody in the box apart from Callum Wilson. But if the cross is good enough and in Wilson's area, he will get on the end of them. He's proved that time and time again. So for me, it's important that Wilson gets an opportunity to score goals. But he has to have that with St. Maximin playing him in. Not trying to take, 6-7 players on in one go. He can't do it all himself. So overall, yesterday was just another tripe performance. Absolute garbage. I was pretty angry yesterday, but, doing the video today, you just think, well, where do we go next? Where does this team go next? And the games against Burnley and Southampton, both at home, big opportunities now to get something going. Score some goals on Wednesday in the Cup. Whatever team Burnley play, Burnley don't necessarily have a big squad, so that means that they will probably play quite a strong team. Now for us, we need to play a strong team. We need to score some goals and get the confidence up. And I don't want to see a weakened team. I want to see us going to try and actually do something in the Cups this season. I know that's a big ask, but you never know. You never know. But player ratings wise, God, where do you start? Freddie Woodman could do nothing about the goals. The penalty and the Ings shot, he had no chance with Danny Ings' scissor kick. It was just a magnificent finish. But Woodman, again, I don't think he had a bad game. I don't think he had an outstanding game. There wasn't really a lot for him to do apart from when the goals went in. So I'll give Woodman a 5. Right wing back was Jacob Murphy. Again, looking a little bit dodgy. Received the ball a couple of times yesterday and, tried to take players on rather than get rid of the ball and lost it and put us under pressure again. But I've said that all along, that Richie is learning that position and he needs to be coached. Now, who is doing the coaching, whether it be Steve Bruce or one of his backroom staff, we've got to try and get that out of Murphy's game just to clear it or play it easy. So Murphy for me a 4. Matt Ritchie on the other side, well, he started the season off really, really struggling, in my opinion. He's really struggling at the minute. It's not his position. He's not a defender in any shape or form. But Steve Bruce will, he persists with him. Jamal Lewis is sitting on his arse on the bench. What that kid's going through for his confidence is just unbelievable. Steve Bruce has just drained him of all of it. Now, I think Lewis will start on Wednesday night against Burnley. That's my opinion anyway. And get a game under his belt. But if he has a blinder, does he then decide to leave Matt Ritchie out of the team? Because he's not a left wing back. And if Bruce is going to persist with this formation, then Matt Ritchie is going to get hammered every game because he's not the fastest anymore. His pace is gone. Yes, you can never, ever give up on his passion or his commitment. But that only takes you so far. So a 3 for Matt Ritchie for me yesterday. Now, the 3 centre-backs, I don't think they were particularly tested a lot yesterday. Villa obviously missing a lot of players, but Fabian Schär, I thought he was going to have to come off when he got injured in the first half, but he didn't. He stayed on. He did all right. Nothing spectacular. No real drives out of defence like we know he can do. So a 4 for him. Jamal Lascelles obviously gave away the penalty. His arm, well, he's come out in an interview after the game and said, well, it wasn't supposed... Where am I supposed to put my arm? But at the end of the day, it stopped the ball going in and it's a penalty. So as harsh as it seems, like I said, we got some last season, some crazy decisions on VAR our way to get some penalties. So, looking at it that way, again, nothing spectacular. I'll give Jamal Lascelles a 4 as well. And Federico Fernandez is lacking in pace for me. He doesn't look uncomfortable when he gets the ball. This passing along the back. Once or twice in the first half, especially yesterday, we tried to bring the ball out for the back and we lost it very, very easily. So that was a problem for me. But I'll give him a 4 as well. Now, moving into the midfield, we've got Isaac Hayden, who played 45 minutes. Unfortunately, having to go off with a knee injury at half-time. I thought he did okay. Again, putting some tackles in and trying to put himself about. But again, nothing spectacular. Didn't stand out. So a 5 for Isaac Hayden. Joe Willock, God, I feel sorry for the kid. He was thrown in again yesterday, just into the shark's mouth, really, wasn't he? No pre-season behind him at all, then thrown into a Premier League game. Yes, he's young and fit, but you've got to have that match fitness, that match mentality about you, and that will come for Joe in time. But a very, very quiet game yesterday, so a 5 for him as well. Miggy, very, very poor, but again, midfield is not his position, but you have to go off a rating of how he played in the game, and he was anonymous. Just anonymous, and it's really frustrating to see him running with the ball, then stopping and then passing back. Take a few players on, have a go. So a 2 for Miggy. And up front, ASM, again, very quiet for me. Held onto the ball too long yesterday. There was times in that game that you could see Callum Wilson getting physically frustrated that he wasn't being played in when he was making the runs. Again, ASM just trying to do too much. He's taking too much on his shoulders to think that he has to do that. So for me, a 4 for ASM. And as I say, Callum Wilson was probably the bright spark yesterday. Should have given us the lead. Now, could the game have been different had we took the lead? Possibly so. But on the way we displayed, maybe Villa would have come back into it anyway. But you never know in hindsight. He should have scored. He probably knew, well, he will know he should have scored. Now, given what we've seen from Callum Wilson with one-on-ones in the past, he should have scored that goal. But for me, he was making the runs. He was putting himself about. So it's a 6 for Callum Wilson. Substitute-wise, Sean Longstaff came on at half-time for the injured Hayden. And it was just anonymous again. He didn't stand out. It was his opportunity to come on and really stand out in the game. But he didn't. So a 3 for Longstaff. Joe Linton came on with 10 minutes left. So I'm not going to rate him. And obviously Ryan Fraser with a minute to go, which was just absolute ludicrous. So I'm not going to rate him either. The manager, Steve Bruce, I'll give him a 2 simply because he picked the strongest possible team. As I say, persisting with his 5 at the back, but it was with that formation the strongest team we had. But it failed. It failed again. The formation failed. His lack of ability to change the game. He waited far too long before making any changes to maybe go forward at the back. It just doesn't work. It's a panic change from Steve Bruce. He doesn't have the nous or the confidence in his own ability, really, to change anything, to tweak anything during a game. So it's a 2 for Steve Bruce and his backroom staff. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the game. I mean, I'm raging inside, but I'm not going to sit and scream at the camera every single weekend. It's pointless. It's just same old. It's just copy and paste with Newcastle United at the minute. Yes, the penalty incident for us was shocking. Martinez should have gone. It was no way offside, in my opinion. The line shouldn't have been there, and the benefit of the doubt should have been given to the forward, like has been said at the start of the season when they're tweaking the VAR reviews a little bit. But we have to take it, we have to swallow it and get on with it. But at the minute, it's not looking good for us at all. I do fear for where we're going to be by Christmas at this rate. So these 2 next home games are vital for us. Get some confidence in our team by beating Burnley, scoring a few goals and get at them on Wednesday, and then set us up nicely for Southampton, because that is now a massive game. So early in the season, it's a massive game now, and we have to try and get something from it. For me, Southampton are a poor side this year, and we should go at them from the off. Not sit back, but actually try and take these guys on and actually go for the throat and be the team that is wanting to win the game from the off. But we'll see what happens with that. Do join us tomorrow night for the 4 Horsemen of the Toon. Barry's working, unfortunately, so we have got Martin coming in as guesting for him again. So looking forward to that. A lot to discuss again from that. We've got the fan forum on Tuesday night at 7:30. Really looking forward to getting all the fans on again and listening to any gripes that they have and how they think that the game should have gone. Looking forward to the Burnley game and the Southampton game. We've got the Fantasy Premier League again on Thursday night. See where everybody stands. But in the meantime, guys, try and enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see what happens with Newcastle. Will there any signings come in? I don't know. But if they do, I will be doing videos and touching on any news that comes out of the club. But in the meantime, guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to smash the like button. If you're new here and you like what you see, do consider subscribing and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care, guys.
Be strong.